So it seems last night Disturbed dropped another single off the upcoming album Evolution. This is probably going to be the last single until the album drops, seeing that today is the 12th of October and the album drops on the 19th of October. So it would be quite surprising if they dropped another single. So this is going to be it until the full album review, which I will do. The other two songs I have also reviewed. David Draiman, the lead singer of Disturbed, has described this album as being vastly different to their previous works, being so vastly different that a lot of the fans may have a difficult time coping with the change of what they have now become and now sound like. He also has stated that this is going to be the Metallica's Black album, in as far as saying it is going to be the pinnacle album. It's going to be something that is going to be known worldwide forever, because it is so brilliant, and he is brilliant in his own opinion. Don't know if it's in anyone else's. Well, actually it is. But the first track they released, Are You Ready? That was pretty much Disturbed. It was the same vocal style, vocal pattern and tone by David. Nothing new. Musically, there was nothing new. It was very simplistic. Nothing new with the musicianship. There was a solo which was decent. It's not terrible like a Billy Joe type of solo or an Avril Lavigne type of guitar playing or anything like that, but it's nothing great or good. It's just and that's pretty much as good as you're going to get from that. So the first track, typical, but maybe that's going to be the only typical track, because obviously they need to. Maybe it's just the one track that will cater to the fans, and then eventually the album will go into new territory. So the second single that came out, which the name escapes me of what it was a melodic track, which sounded like they were trying to take the essence of The Sound of Silence, which was a cover they did on the last album, which was all that was talked about on that album. All of their actual songs and everything, no one talked about or actually knew the name of the album or any of their songs. It was just The Sound of Silence, and said, wow, they are great musicians, because they just play in what has been done previously. There was nothing of them. It was just copy the sound. But therefore they were fantastic and brilliant musicians and great musical writers, because they didn't write it. So obviously it seems they tried to attempt to write something along that line, but obviously it was just very reminiscent of that song, and there was nothing really special about it. It was just the same, nothing new. So we get now to this new track that they've just released, which is titled The Best Ones Lie. So is this finally a change? Because this is the third one now. Is this going to be anything new? No, of course not. It's not new. The vocal style and vocal pattern and vocal tone is the style of David Draiman. The dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun, that really sharp delivery, very kind of quick. And then you get a pause, and then he just comes and he's just like dun-dun-dun, and it's like really quick. That's his style. Just blah blah blah, blah 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 blah. That's all he really does. And there's a video on YouTube of this guy who just played all these multiple Disturbed songs, but I just went blah 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 blah, and it was basically a piss take saying that all the songs sound exactly the same, and the vocal style is just exactly the same, just blah 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 blah, and that's all he had to do, and it just sounded like David Draiman, because it was just that stupid pattern that he always does, and all the music is all exactly the same, because the musicians actually play very simplistic things, just kind of the simple chords and everything. There's nothing amazingly special with what they're doing, and it has to match this one style of David, and because of that there's not much else they can really do, because David can't do anything else. He is a very talentless vocalist. He has one good thing, but that doesn't mean he's brilliant. Like, it was good when he first started, and when you first heard David, it was a new, unique sound and style, and a unique voice. So with that was amazing, and it was brilliant and great. But that's all he can do, so he's not a good singer. There's singers that can do multiple things with their voices and pitches and styles. David can't do a thing, apart from one thing. And that's pretty much here yet again. Just the same vocal style. The musicianship in the riffs, it's the same simplistic dun 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 kind of chord progression things. Nothing special. It has a flow at times, so dun dun dun, and it's just held a bit more and a bit more kind of open sounding, but it only lasts probably around 3 seconds, and then when it gets round to it again, it takes its time. So it's not really anything great, and I can't really give it any kind of mark for it. But that's basically the only kind of subtlety, which is a good thing, but because it's hardly there, I can't even do anything with that. The chorus is extremely slow, very, very dull, very, very boring. There is nothing powerful, punchy, anything about it. It's open, but everything is just so mono. It's just very, very, very dull. He ends the chorus where everything kind of goes clean. So his voice goes clean, and the musicians go very clean. I'm like, oh, this is a change. So it's not just this is it for a whole song. There's going to be a new element, a new style put in. After 3 seconds, they go back to the same of what they're doing, which makes that 3-second part where it's like, oh, this is new, this is interesting. It lasts only 3 seconds, which, even though it was intriguing, it was hardly there to really actually keep a piqued interest. It doesn't last. It's so short that it's basically nothing. And you kind of think, why even do it in the first place? Because it's taken something where you're like, I want to hear more, but because it's so little, it's just like, I don't want to hear it, because it's just so ridiculous. Because you get the slow, drab chorus, and then, as I said, the verse was the typical Disturbed. Then you get the clean thing for 3 seconds, and it just disappears. And it's like, well, it's just weird being there now, because it's just so lacking. It's just one note of dun dun dun, and it just goes back in, and it's just like, that was weird. So that's ridiculous, and if they opened it up, which you don't really need a brain to kind of think we could do something new here, it will be like we've took 2 different style songs and then put them into one. But no, they just kind of drop the whole thing and just do the same typical thing that is always done by Disturbed. The second time through the chorus, he does the exact same thing, just dun dun dun, and just goes back in. It's just, yeah, it's kind of cringy actually, hearing that. There is a solo in this, so at least we are actually getting it. The start of it, David is kind of singing over the guitarist, and he's quite loud in his delivery, so you can't really actually hear much of the guitar at all, because David's voice is so up front and strong. But it doesn't last that long. You pretty much do get the whole solo without David squealing his head off. But it's an absolutely terrible solo. It's absolutely terrible. The start of it is basically just an effect, so he just does the same pattern over and over and over again. But because he has an effect on it, it's just like, isn't this cool? It sounds like, wow, and wow. Just keep repeating it, just like, oh, wow, and cool noises. That's pretty much all he's doing, so he's not actually doing anything cool. He's just using the effect to make you think that what he's doing is actually something brilliant and remarkable, when it isn't. It's just the effect, and he's just basically playing something very simple just to show you an effect. It's absolutely stupid. As it keeps progressing, he starts actually doing something, but it's not much of anything really. It's nothing very heartfelt and moving. It's not got a very nice beat and flow to it. It's nothing technical. It's just him moving around the guitar, and that's as good as you get, which is again absolutely terrible. And he keeps the effect going, so for the very simple-minded, they can go, "Wow, I've never heard anything like this. How is he doing it?" When actually it's not him. It's just push a pedal and there it is. That's all you do. So the solo, absolutely terrible. And that's pretty much the song, because after that it just kind of goes back to the kind of typical chorus. That's it. The verse is typical Disturbed. The chorus is absolutely slow and dull. You get the 3-second clean parts, which for just 3 seconds is just so weird and just seems out of place. And they should have extended on that. I don't know why they thought, let's just do that for 3 seconds, because it is such a stupid idea. The solo was so ridiculous, and the fact that the guy thought, I'll put a cool effect in because it'll give it this kind of new cool tone, and that'll basically be the highlight of the solo, is unbelievably thick, and that's it. These musicians seem pretty dumb, in all honesty, and the lead singer has no range in the slightest at all. He has no range, no diversity. The musicianship is lacking, has no real talent or passion. They just regurgitate the same old. And I don't know if it's because the fans keep thinking, wow, Disturbed are one of the greatest new metal bands to come out of this generation, which is said by a lot of people. Therefore they think, wow, we are actually that great, and they've kind of got lost in their stardom. But David keeps saying this is new, this is different, which makes me kind of feel that he's aware that he actually thinks all of this is new, and if he was a true musician, he should know this is all exactly the same. It's not the Black Album. It's not new. The fans aren't going to be shocked and have a difficult time adjusting to this new style, because it's the style of Disturbed. It is Disturbed. If you play 1 second from this song, you'll think, oh, 10,000 Fists? Asylum? Indestructible? Prayer? I don't know. It's just Disturbed. You will know it's Disturbed just by 1 second. It's not going to be something like really new, just like, God, this doesn't sound anything like Disturbed. 1 second is Disturbed. That is it. It's absolutely ridiculous, and at this point I don't think Disturbed are capable of doing anything new and different. I don't think they're capable. I don't think David has range. I just don't think it's there. The musicians, I just don't think they're that gifted to know what anything else to do. My favourite album by Disturbed, if you're interested, is Indestructible. Now, the reason for this is that's where I found that there actually was a change happening. Because on the album Liberate, or the second album, and 10,000 Fists, everything was quite fast-paced, very tight sounding, and then when you get to Indestructible, it was a very open sound. It was a lot more open. David didn't really do the speed kind of singing. It had a lot more flow and a lot more power to it. So his voice was opening up. He was doing more of a proper singing style, and the whole tone shifted, and the musicians actually kind of opened the sound up as well, also along with the vocalist. That album had the most solos at that time. After that, for some reason he dropped them again, for some reason. But that seemed to have been a stepping point for Disturbed, and at this moment of time, even today, I think it's the most diverse and different sounding Disturbed album they have done. I think that it's Indestructible. But when Asylum came out, they went, backwards while keeping a similar kind of style to Indestructible, but it was mostly 10,000 Fists with hints of Indestructible. And then the last album, it was just bland 10,000 Fists style, and this seems 10,000 Fists style again. I don't know why they got rid of that more open, more proper singing style and just work from there, and then work on there with the solos that was in Indestructible. But no, that was the high point, Indestructible. But I don't think they can even go any much further than that. I think that was basically them pushing it to the limit, and that was it. I don't think we're going to get anything else new from Disturbed. I don't think there's going to be any vast difference. This is it. And if they keep going into their 60s, 70s, this is going to be the exact same album over and over and over and over again. This is it. If you like this and just want to hear it over and over and over and over and over again, then good news. That's pretty much what you're going to be getting. But if you're fed up of the same sound, the same style, the same vocal pattern, I would give up even trying. Because I can probably even go out and promise you and swear down it's not going to change. It's never going to change. This is it. They'll never change. And I think people should stop holding out on them in hope. If you've been holding out and hoping they will change, I think you should stop and you should just drop them and don't bother with them at all. And for all the fans who keep saying it's very, very different and very, very diverse, I would urge you to at least open your minds and see and accept and stop being in denial and see that it is the same thing. Yes, you like the sound, I like the sound, but it is the same thing and it's getting boring. Challenge them, and you may get something that at the core it's Disturbed, but overall it's a new thing, which would be interesting, wouldn't it? They're not going to do it unless you push them. If you keep doing this, they will keep going that way. And if you push them, obviously there's the question if they're even capable, which at this moment in time I don't think they are. But it's only 3 tracks. There's, I don't know, 11, 12 on the album, so I still haven't even listened to half of it, so maybe these are the 3 typical Disturbed songs. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm full of crap. Maybe the rest of the album is going to be unbelievably different that my head will explode. I doubt it, but who knows? Because I don't know, because I haven't heard it. So I could be wrong. And in all honesty, I hope I am. I hope that I can get back into Disturbed and like them. Because at the minute I just don't listen to them in the slightest. I would like to enjoy them. I really would. So I do hope that Evolution is going to surprise me. But I'm not really living in high hopes here. So, until the album drops, this will be it for Disturbed. See you on the Disturbed Evolution review. Bye.